Reuniting is a new film written and directed by Laura Adkin that is getting its world premiere at this year's Austin Film Festival that is happening on October 29th. That's a Sunday at 12:45. For tickets and more info to that or the encore screening on Thursday, November 2nd at 5:30, you can go to austinfilmfestival.com. The movie itself follows six best friends from college, now in their 40s, who reconnect for their 25-year reunion weekend. The secrets are revealed. One will force them all to reevaluate their lives. It is a great cast, including Michelle Harrison, Roger Cross, David James Lewis, Carmen Moore, Bronwyn Smith, and my next guest, you know him as a leading man of stage and screen. It is Jesse L. Martin. Jesse, thank you so much for the time. How you doing today?
I can't complain at all, man. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. And I got to tell you, before we get into the details of this movie, I'm a sucker for a couple of things. One is a band name or a movie or book title that has punctuation in it. And the other thing is any film that starts with Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It." And Reuniting checks both those boxes. So I was in from the get-go. What was it that initially drew you to this project?
Honestly, I was introduced to the idea, the script, and to Laura Atkin, our director, through our leading lady, Michelle Harrison. I'd been working with Michelle for 10 years prior to this introduction, and she was like, "I want you to play my husband," and I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool." And I hadn't even read anything at that point, and then she brought me the script and introduced me to Laura. And I'm a little bit older than the rest of the gang, and I was getting real Big Chill vibes from it. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was imagining soundtracks and all that good stuff. And of course, at the time, I was living on the little island that we filmed on called Bowen Island here. And I was just like, kept imagining all of these people getting together in this little area. And I thought it was a really cool project to be a part of, and I was super grateful that they even asked me to do it. But it's all because of Michelle Harrison, for sure.
Well, look, Michelle was great. I don't think I realized how good she was until the big reveal, which obviously we're going to have to be somewhat vague about in talking about this so we don't spoil it for anybody. I'm not a big crier in movies, Jesse, but I was fighting back tears the last 20 to 30 minutes of this movie. I mean, it pulled all the right heartstrings when it was all
that's great.
done. And you guys did a phenomenal job of setting everything up to that point as well.
That's fantastic, man. And it says a lot. You got this big old man to almost cry. And that's not even the point. But the point being is that you're hoping to tell stories, through performances that really resonate with people and move them, and the fact that you saw it that way, means that we did somewhat of a great job. The idea that we're, premiering in Austin, which is a very well-known festival that certainly champions like women directors and writers, and they've been championing Laura for years. Hopefully the audience gets to see it the exact same way and get moved and intrigued and inspired and see themselves reflected in all of that. And, reminded of some cool moments because of Montel Jordan.
Now, while you're not going to be here for the premiere this weekend, I feel like I've seen your name in years past, either through Austin Film Festival or South by. I don't know if I've seen it through ATX TV Festival. Have you spent any time here in Austin, Jesse?
Not at all.
Oh,
Not at all. I've actually never been to Austin. It's always been on the list. I've heard nothing but great things about how much of it's a cool city. Austin's kind of weird. I always like weird. There's nothing but music everywhere. I love music. It just seems like one of those places, like an enclave of creativity in Texas.
Most definitely is that. As far as Reuniting is concerned, I guess a simple explanation of what this movie is all about is it's a 25th reunion of a bunch of old friends from college who get back together at your character and your character's wife's house, which is, I guess, off of Vancouver. Is that right? It's one of the islands off of Vancouver around.
Yes, it's on Bowen Island. It's probably about a 20-minute ferry ride outside of Metro Vancouver.
So you're isolated. You don't have a whole lot of access to technology. My goodness, that sounds so wonderful in 2023. And throughout the course
That's
of this,
not even true. We have plenty of access to that technology.
well, you know what? A guy can drink, can't he, Jesse? But throughout this process, because you are getting back together for the first time in forever, there's a lot of reminiscing, maybe some booze and ingestibles flowing as well that first night. And gradually, everybody starts to let both positive and negative emotions out. And that includes these characters expressing various degrees of regret about what could have been. I think oftentimes midlife regret is the result of individuals who choose not to pursue their passions for one reason or another. I think I'm pretty fortunate to be someone who has tried to pursue those passions. I've had opportunities in front of me at times, and other times I kind of force those opportunities. You strike me as a similar sort of person. Was there a point in your life where you came to the realization that you didn't want to live with regrets? You were going to make sure to pursue that which you were most passionate about?
Yeah, but that actually happened when I was about 11 years old. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I was determined beyond belief to be an actor. And I was fortunate to grow up in the heyday of public schools in the States where there was always somebody pointing me in the direction of the arts, whether it be my mom or teachers or mentors who were always putting me in programs and productions and things that kept me in that space. So I feel incredibly fortunate that I have been that guy who's been chasing the exact thing that I've wanted for my entire life and career.
Do you have that one great regret then, since you have been able to pursue your passion?
No, I don't. I don't have that one great regret. There's certainly things that, I wish I could have done or I wish I could have done differently or better. But regret is not part of the vocabulary when talking about those things. I don't regret anything.
That's fantastic to hear. I find myself in the same boat too. There's little things here and there over the years, but in terms of major life decisions, glad to be talking to somebody else who is in that same category. And I do admit to shedding a tear or two before Reunite is all said and done. So this movie does enter a pantheon for me, Jesse. I haven't cried at a bunch of movies in my life, as I told you earlier. The movies that I have cried at include things like Big Fish, the Royal Tenenbaums, and Don't Laugh, Hooch. They should have killed the Tom Hanks character and not the dog. Spoiler alert there. But my question for you based on that is, what is a movie that gets you every time you see it?
There's a couple of them. They're older, though, a lot older, but you probably know these films. One is Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
Another one is Terms of Endearment. Steel Magnolias always gets me. Like, literally always gets me. The Color Purple always gets me. Always does it. God, I could go on forever. But yeah, there's so many that really hit me hard every single time I watch them.
He is Jesse L. Martin. You know him over the years, leading man of stage and screen, and he is an important part of the new movie Reuniting, premiering at Austin Film Festival. Go to austinfilmfestival.com to find out more info and all the screening times throughout the next week plus. Jesse, thank you so much for the time today. Congratulations on this film, and best of luck with things in the future.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks to Gentleman Jesus for the intro and outro music. Hear more of his work at gentlemanjesus.com. And thanks to you for hanging out. For more of the show and to connect on social media, visit booksonpod.com. We'll talk to you next time on Books on Pod.